Okay, so James, so I met you a week ago for the very first time, and you said something that blew my mind.
Right.
We were talking about perfectionism, and as a psychologist, you had some very interesting insights. Do you want to take it back?
Okay. So traditionally, we look at perfectionism as you want everything to be perfect. Perfectionism is the inability to be perfect or imperfect. The way I think you can distinguish perfectionism better is to recognize that people who have to deal with perfectionism tend to be unable to do anything wrong, because then there has to be a reason, and then you'll create that reason. So, and that's an important distinguishment of doing everything perfectly and being unable to do everything perfectly. But a perfectionist will look at that and go, no, that's my failure. You're going to look at me differently now. So because of that, I have to justify everything that goes wrong. A perfectionist would beat themselves up over that. Like, oh my God, what a dumbass. How stupid of me. Oh, I'm such a failure. And it goes down that very negative self-talk. And it's not that I need things to be perfect. It is that I cannot be imperfect.
So it's like a bit less about the action itself, but more of who you are and how it kind of dictates your identity.
Yes. Spot on. That's exactly, I think, the identity. It's part of your makeup.
So you're saying that a perfectionist or someone who strives for perfection, they do so because they don't want to be seen a different way. Is it?
Well, two. They don't want to be seen and they can't see themselves. So it's twofold, right? On the one hand, everybody saw that mistake. Oh my God, they must think less of me now. But also, it applies to themselves, because then they have to acknowledge that, oh, that was a careless mistake. I don't make mistakes. It's such a, back pain. Where? Up, middle, lower, side, left, right? You know what I mean? So if we give a very broad definition, then everybody kind of falls into that. Oh, I'm such a perfectionist. I'm like, are you really? You're not. You know, it's like I have OCD. No, you don't. You're pedantic. You're particular. You like things in a certain order. You're not OCD. It's just the same thing. You're not perfection. You're not a perfectionist. You have things that you like to do right, and you strive, I'm sure, to do them well. But you're human, and to err is human. Having fun, having a good time.
He's having a lot of fun.
He likes when I start talking like this. That's why he.
Do you want to bring him in? I'm fully listening to what you're saying, but also look at his tiny little feet.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. You know, every other person is like, oh my God, I'm such a perfectionist. That's why it's taking me so long. Or, this isn't my best work, so don't judge it because I'm a perfectionist and I couldn't get there on time.
So you've got an artwork and you put a disclaimer on your artwork. Why do you put a disclaimer?
You want people to know that actually you're better. You can do better than that, but you just didn't this time.
So then what does better look like? You know what I mean? So it at least from my perspective, when I'm listening to that, it just sounds more like a confidence thing. Because what does better look like? It's like when someone does an artwork and they say, hey, this is not my best work. I can do better.
Yeah.
Probably just a disclaimer, because they're worried you'll judge them. And if you judge them,
you can't say anything now.
Because I said it wasn't my best.
Yeah.
So you got to be okay with that.
It's like a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably was your best, otherwise you wouldn't be showing it off. But you're just not confident about your best because you're comparing yourself to other people. And you don't view yourself that well, but that's art.
Like, I'm so hell-bent on this idea of the perfect piece, but I'm not getting there. So what would you say to someone like me?
Let's say you said this, let's say this 5%.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to reach it because that's how you go to the next level. Imagine if you reached it, then you won the game.
It's like, this is my magnus opus, I'm out.
Yeah, that's it. You're not supposed to reach that. You can't be like, I love this quote by Matthew McConaughey, my hero is me in 10 years. Because you'll never reach your hero.
That makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, a part of me is like, the whole point of creating something is to express myself.
Yeah.
And so in an ideal world, I would love to express myself 100%. So that feels a bit at odds with what you're telling me.
Yeah. No, but I think, so this is not a 5% better. This is lacking 100% of you. You're not supposed to have the 5%. You're supposed to just day by day be a little bit better. And then you can look back and go, wow, that's what growth looks like. And that's what life is all about, growth. Because you're worried, if I put 100% of me out there and then people judge me poorly, then they're judging me, 100% of me. So I have no value in society because I've been judged.
That makes so much sense. When I was in film school, I was told by multiple, teachers and friends that you have to separate yourself from the art.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very hard thing to do because it can be very personal.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to have that thick skin. And
when you can be you and just try and be the best version of you. And then, do you watch The Office?
Huge fan.
Right? So, when Pam does her little art exhibition?
Yes.
Right? And she draws the office and nobody comes. And then she was going out with Roy. And Roy's like, he makes fun. He comes, he's like, yeah, I said I'd come for this thing and all that. But then who appreciates it the most?
Michael.
Michael came and saw like, oh my God, that's where we work. That's my car. That's me. Now, that's a show. In real life, is a Michael Scott really going to turn up always? And you know what I mean? Come to our art show and validate us that way? I don't know.
We have to be our own Michael Scott.
Yeah, exactly. You got to trust yourself and then be able to critique yourself without destroying yourself. No one is successful in a vacuum. Success is built on 99 failures, right? It's just that you don't talk about the 99 failures when you're at 67. You know what I mean? Because it's almost embarrassing because, oh my God, where's my one?
Yeah.
Or even if I had the one, it's the only one.
Oh my God. Oh, he's smiling at me. Hi. Yeah.
LinkedIn, objectively, I find it can be worse because people who have been through something qualify themselves as experts of that thing, right? And lots of people go through things.
Yeah.
Just
being a human.
Just because you went through it, and while I'm empathetic of what you've had to go through, I don't think that qualifies you to talk as a subject matter expert on this. You can share your experience, and I'm sure that will be helpful for people to learn that, oh wow, I never thought it could come out that way, right? And I think that's useful. But that doesn't mean you should go around speaking on the topics of suicide, depression, even anxiety. Sit here for a second.
Oh my God. Hi, honey. Hi. Oh my God. Can I keep him? I wanted to talk to you about imposter syndrome. From your point of view, with your expertise and knowledge, what is it?
Imposter syndrome in yesteryear was something that was reserved for people who didn't feel like they belong somewhere. So, most of us feel it. We just don't know the name of it. Like you walk into a room and there's so many smart people and you're like, whoa, I probably don't belong here. It's more likely that if you feel like an imposter, then you're probably one of the few people who actually do the work.
Why?
Because the more work you do, the more you know you don't know. So the more you learn you don't, how much you need to go. You're like, Jesus. And and then when you're called to talk about a topic, and for most people who do the work, they'll feel like an imposter today because everybody's a subject matter expert, right? As long as you've been through it, you are now an expert on the topic. So tell me more about suicide, right? Or tell me more about depression because you've gone through it. You're a survivor. There's nothing wrong with being a survivor. You shouldn't belittle that word. It's incredibly rare to talk about depression if you've experienced it. But I don't know that you should be called an expert about the topic. That's where I think I draw the line, because I go, your experience is unique. There are people who spend years, decades, or hundreds of hours studying it. Yeah. To try and get down to the science of it.
No one really knows what's going on anyways.
Nobody knows. I was like, nobody's even bothered studying this stuff. Like, it's just... and that's why I define imposter syndrome as, if you've been working really hard and you think you don't know it, then you probably got imposter syndrome, and you should be happy because that means you probably know more than most.
So I started, spinning a while ago, and it was just a fun little hobby. And I started posting online and stuff, and my friends were really encouraging. And then last year, I played at like 4 or 5 events, and I was just really starting out. So I was like, it could have gone a lot better. I really need to work on my skills and stuff. And I've improved decently. Recently, a couple people asked me to spin at their events, and I said no.
Okay.
And on one hand, it's because I feel like, no, actually, I'm not going to try and justify myself. I don't think I'm good enough yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so in that sense, I feel like an imposter.
Okay. One, you said this is a hobby, right? And I'm wondering how much of a role that has played in you determining that you're not good enough.
Is it because calling it a hobby kind of seems like a bit of a reduction of it, or like justifying why I'm not doing more?
Does it?
I mean, I don't want to be a big professional DJ.
Okay.
So that's just why I call it a hobby.
Okay, but you also said
your face is saying something.
Yeah, but you also said that you don't feel like you're good enough. So what does good enough look like?
I guess it's like people who play in clubs. And
you said you had a couple of events. How the club's gonna know you if they don't see you?
Yeah. Huh. Are you therapizing me?
A little bit.
Is that a word?
No. Yeah. I mean, I am. This is what it looks like in therapy.
Yeah.
We don't solve problems. We just ask questions. Good therapists ask questions. Don't solve problems.
Now you're making me question how much of that do I actually believe, and how much of it is just kind of like a shield or a disclaimer. Oh my God, I am disclaiming myself.
I think you already know this stuff. I think you're just verbalizing, like that little moment that you put your head down and that's the unpacking of the emotion, and then experiencing, this is what I've been doing. I haven't said anything. I've just been sitting here quietly.
With that look. So how do I get over that imposter mindset?
You've got to ask yourself, who are you as an artist? What do you want to be known as? And I don't think there needs to be an answer. I think part of the whole thing is a discovery. You're supposed to go try stuff out. Life is about discovery. There's this philosophical question that was asked once. If you could know what was going to happen, do you want to find out? No.
What's the point then?
Yeah, exactly. Because life is discovery. But if you're doped up on dopamine, then you'd want it because you want the immediate gratification of knowing things rather than discovering things. And so when you eliminate discovery, you're also eliminating the joy that comes from it. You have to go experience the craft, and there's going to be stuff you don't like anyway. That's part of the whole job. Part of enjoying things is doing stuff you don't like. Like
We choose the pain we want.
Yeah, that's really nicely put. Yeah, you choose the pain that you want, and there's no such thing as no pain. And then halfway through, if you don't like it, change it.
There's this quote that lives rent-free in my head.
Yeah.
What you're not changing, you're choosing.
Oh yeah, wow, nice.
Yeah.
You're choosing. Yeah, okay, I like it. Yes. The biggest lie you're told is that things are going to get easier. But no, you grow up as an adult waiting for things to get easier. When the actual thing was that you were supposed to get stronger. Life was never going to get easier or harder. Life was just going to be life. You were just supposed to get stronger. If you're focusing on life getting easier, that's like you saying it's going to be sunny every day, rather than I'm prepared for the rain.
Thank you so much, James.
Thank you for having me.
This has been so lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is so disgusting. Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay.
Well, he's all settled. I think I'll cut the cameras now.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
Oh,
and thank you, Romulus. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. So cute.